as a woman, cannot raise a boy to be a man. So what happens is you try to raise that boy. You try to do all of these things, but you can't. So you lord over that boy. You dictate to that boy. You beat that boy at times. You tell that boy, shut the fuck up, listen to what I say, and never give him an explanation of why you say these things. You say, because I said so. And that little boy has all of this animosity built up because he can't hit his mother. So when he goes out into the street and someone disrespects him or step on his J's, now he's ready to fight or shoot or get shot. See, the thing about it is the government has created the single mother in all cultures to combat the family, the nuclear family. And that's what I talk. You as a
Hey, welcome back, YouTube. I'm your host, Dr. Jacob Isom, educator, author, speaker, entrepreneur, content creator, consultant, father, a little bit of everything. We're on episode 99. Yes, we're one short from our 100th episode. Glad you can make it. For my new listeners, we got two channel norms over here. One, we attack points and not people. And then two, we don't do all the cussing derogatory stuff because we are a professional channel over here. All right. So what are we discussing today? We're discussing, do single mothers destroy their sons? Okay. Now, what's Mother Earth without Father Time? Okay. So that's an age-old argument. I just kind of put it in a new present, put a bow on it, but the conversation of single mothers and son husbands and single mothers talking down on their sons, saying you ain't nothing because your father ain't nothing, like this conversation is old, right? It's nothing new. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to break it down from a different lens, a different perspective. Here's some new voices on the topic, such as myself and others through, of course, some of the clips that I'm going to show you. So sit back, relax, and get your popcorn ready. So we about to dive right into it, okay? Episode 99, are single mothers destroying their sons? Let's get it.
Young man 24 hours. And there's no way in the world, just reading his space, that I know he's going to allow a man to abuse a woman in his presence.
She doesn't think about me that way. She doesn't.
Well,
because I
then
just
you
saw
don't
him
need
playing
to be
basketball.
Now, just right off the bat, did you see his facial expression compared to hers? Like, it was very similar. Like, he shook his head, she shook her head. Does she not understand what she doing to that young man? By telling him that, no, like, she don't look at him like a man. Like, it's destroying him. How do you think he's going to grow up and be in a relationship trying to be a leader of a family? Man, let's keep watching.
Ball and going on dates
so
together.
What? Mind your business. You say that you don't see the man that your son is. So I'm asking you, since this is not a demonstration of a man, you need to tell me what man you're using to measure him with. Which one?
My idea.
Which is your idea.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that the idea you trained him up to be?
No.
Oh. So how in the blazing bejesus are you holding him accountable?
And you know why she can't train him to be? Because she's not a man, right? So her idea of a man, he's not living up to. I wonder why he's not living up to it. Maybe because he didn't have a man in the home. Maybe because he didn't have a strong father figure around. Maybe because you probably talk crap about his real dad or any other man. Hey.
Accountable to a standard that you didn't teach him, his father didn't give him, he don't even know what it is, and yet as his mother, you sit in his face and tell him, You don't respect him as a man. Tell me how that works. Help me.
Like I said, it was events. It wasn't just.
I'm talking
And
about
it's
one
also
thing.
how he treats me.
Yeah, but
He doesn't respect me
hello.
as a mom, and so-
You see, you are a provocative victim. You provoke stuff, and then when you start being held accountable for it, then you start twisting and turning and making the other person wrong. Look at me, Ma. Look at me. Look at me. You just sat here and told your son, who ain't got a needle in his arm, who I'm assuming pays his own rent. He's married to a registered nurse. He's got 3 baby boys. And you just sat here in his face and said, I don't respect him as a man.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't think to consider what that does to his heart, to his soul, to his spirit.
I'm sure that's hurtful.
And you okay with that?
And it's hurtful for the things that he says.
But there you go. You're doing it. You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now. I'm holding you accountable and you spinning your web. You're trying to get away.
And you know what the sad part about it is? Like, parents would do this, right? Like, they'll feel like that it's a tit for tat thing. Like, you have to understand, you are the parent. Regardless of how old your child get, you are the authoritative figure. You're supposed to be bigger than that. And then, unfortunately, in the Black community, we always had it. We love playing victim, right? Well, look how he talked to me. Look how he treated me. Well, if that's how he's raised, do you blame him? Like, it's crazy now. And God bless the brother. They got 3 kids and a wife, so maybe he kind of bucked the odds and the trends. But look at his face. Look at how she did this young man. He probably need therapy and all that. Like, I mean, all right, let's finish this out, man. We ain't got too much longer.
You're trying to get away. Tell me. Just here's the question. Just answer it. We'll get back to that other stuff later. Tell me.
Forgive me. I respect him. He's a wonderful man.
Do you understand that your mouth, your voice, your words are connected to the coils in his heart, to the valves in his heart? He can't help but love you. And every time you dishonor that love, you chip a piece of it, chip a piece of it. This is why in our culture as Black people, when the boys turn a certain age, the men come and get him and take him away from the mother because she can emotionally manipulate him. But since we don't live in our culture no more, we say what we want to say, do what we want to say. We tear our men down and then wonder why they don't make good husbands and fathers. Mothers destroy sons. His mother can speak to him in certain ways that destroy him in ways that can never be.
I mean, there you have it. I couldn't have said it better myself. Of course, I think a lot of you are familiar with Miss Zala Van Zant. I hate that she's not around more often than she used to be, because she's always speaking the real, and she's very objective and she's very fair, in my opinion, to both men and women. But mothers, unfortunately, do this a lot. Now, would I say it's probably more prevalent in the Black community? Yes, because as she said, like, because we don't have a culture anymore, a lot of times, like, we're just living day by day with no standards, no rules to live by. It's one thing to have rules in society and laws in society, but it's another to have it for the family dynamic, right? For the environment, for the neighborhood that we grow in. A lot of us just living lawless, right? And then we constantly talking about, well, people are not feeling protected. Well, we're not feeling protected because we don't have no standards and no culture that we adhere to, that we stick to, that we live by, right? And when it comes to single mother and their son, what you have is a dynamic that a single mother is hurt by what the father to a child did to her, or disappointed by her own father, or disappointed by the man that maybe unfortunately essayed her or something like that. And now she's passing down that trauma and pain to her son because she sees a reflection in him. Right? Yes, we need therapy. Yes, we dealing with a whole lot of baggage and a whole lot of trauma, man. But the biggest thing is we need culture. Right? Yes, we need men. All right. So, hey, I got some more I want to show you. Hold up.
There's a lot of men that picked up a lot of qualities from women. And how did that happen? We growing up, going to school, most of the teachers are what? Females. You know, a lot of us been raised with the mother at the house most of the time. You got sisters, so you pick up on a lot of tendencies, and so now you reacting to certain things like a woman. And so if you're in a relationship with a woman and you kind of act like a woman, it's like two sisters fighting or best friends, two female best friends fighting all the time. Right. There's a lot of men.
Every single boy still has aggression in him, still has this desire to be rough and tumble. But when they haven't been given the opportunity to be rough and tumble with the dad because dad has been declawed and defanged, and now this young boy has been declawed and defanged, it shows up as passive aggressiveness. What would happen if you took your boy at a young age and put him into jujitsu? You put him into some active sports where there was combat, there was conflict. You would now have a young boy who's more confident and capable. You would now have a boy who has tested himself against others in his age group and knows his capabilities and capacities. You would have a boy who knows how to give feedback in a scenario where there's conflict. But when that boy has not experienced any of those things, he grows up to be a man-child who is passive-aggressive, a nice guy, backstabbing, unable to communicate his thoughts, emotions, and feelings, and soon gets put in this category of, oh, he's a nice guy, but I wouldn't date him or marry him.
The mama sets becomes the template that the son uses to select a wife.
Men who grow up with single mothers who they see struggling will subconsciously grow up to reject men and overcompensate by taking care of broken women and neglecting their own needs. He is subconsciously trying to fix women in the way he feels his father failed his mother. Instead, he ends up attracting women who are highly codependent with an inability to love him back in the way he gives or needs.
So if you were a mother in your 20s and you were a single mother, I need you to go back and to apologize to your sons. The template that mama sets.
We birth man into this world. We nurture them and raise them. It is up to us to do it from our divine feminine energy and teach them how to behave like a man and take their place in society. We so desperately need men exhibiting healthy masculinity instead of, as a single mother, babying him and showing him how you do all on your own, how you are a mother and a father for him, and how you don't need a man. He will absorb this and create more single mothers and be a feminine, delicate man, expecting women to do everything for him, just as you did. Find him a mentor. He needs a healthy masculine example to become the man that humanity so desperately needs.
I think that series of videos right there show you a good array of the damage that single mothers can do to their sons, all type of psychological issues. And of course, I shouldn't have to say this, but not all single mothers are going to put their sons through this. But I would say a good number of single mothers who are not even conscious of how their behavior and how their attitude and how their trauma actually comes off on their kids, particularly their sons. And it's enough where I do believe that is an epidemic, right? I do believe that it's a topic that doesn't get brought up enough. I'm not sure how much it is studied in the field of psychology, anthropology, and the other social sciences. But it's something that we definitely need to continue talking about and bring issue because, of course, what typically happens when you have a family divided is going to cause chaos. It's going to create other issues for the children, right? I mean, of course, we understand what divorce do to kids. Now, my parents wasn't divorced, but when they broke up, it did something to me, right? Now, fortunately for me, it made me independent. It grew me up quicker than probably that I should have. So one could look at that as a positive and a negative, but children are always going through a lot of different emotions when it comes to their parents spitting, or when it comes to just having one parent in the household, because typically they're asking or they're wondering, it's going through their mind, well, where's my father at? Where's my mother at? And we know that it's typically being asked, where's my father at? Right. So we have to understand what these boys are going through, because typically what happens is, and I can remember this as I was a young boy, is that we're just taught that, hey, we got to get over it. We got to be tough. We got to go through the hard lessons, teach us how to be a man. That's how boys are raised. But unfortunately, particularly in this day and age, young men are not handling rejection. They're not handling pain like men of yesteryear. It's just not happening like that. Okay. And it's a lot of different factors that go into that I'm not going to address in this video. And we could do it later if you would like. But like, young boys are just not built like they once were. Right. So, but I think part of that is due to the fact of single mothers and how they're raising and calling their boys, while at the same time trying to push their daughters out and trying to have them be strong, right? That's why we're seeing the feminization of boys. That's why we've been seeing the hardening of girls, while we say the young women are masculine and the young boys are feminine. Okay. This is decades, years of programming, propaganda, and training. I really hate to say. All right. Hey, let's wrap this up. I got something good that I want to show you. Let's get it.
Talked about, sons being raised with single mothers and why they talked about that for years. And now you're seeing the effects of a bunch of sons being raised with single mothers. Now, listen to what this woman has to say, because she's talking about this rise of feminine men.
Are y'all not concerned? Like, are you not concerned with how many men are now feminine? Are we not concerned with how many men are now claiming to be women? Are we not concerned that these supposed to be future heads of the households, fathers, men and leaders of society are now beating their faces better than me on a Sunday morning? Are we not concerned that our men are no longer interested in women? Are we not concerned? If you are concerned, I beg of you, pray for the men of God. Pray, excuse me, not the men of God. Pray for the men in this world. Pray for the men. If God desired for the men to be the head, do you know what happens to a body when the head is severed? The body can only function for so much longer. If you are not concerned, it's time to get concerned. There is like before it was like, okay, it's getting.
And I hate to pause it right here, but I think she brought up a good point when he's talking about the head and the body. As of course, we know that the man is being described as a head, right? But when you got a bunch of untrained, emotional men who don't know how to lead a family, that is what's causing a lot of destruction when it comes to the family household, right? That is what causing a lot of drama. A man that feels like he has to argue with a woman is all the way wrong, right? You don't argue with a woman. There is no winning that, okay? But you have a lot of men out there that will. So I thought she brought up a good point when it comes to the head and the body. Let's continue watching.
Getting worse and worse. But now, you guys, we need to be concerned, because the goal of this agenda is to progressively take out the men and have a women-ran society all over the world. If you are not concerned, it's time to get concerned. Me, I'm concerned. The burden is growing heavier and heavier. We need to pray for the men.
The issue with single mothers today having their sons and their sons are being so feminine, women back in the day, even if they were a single mom for whatever the reason, if they were putting on their makeup or whatever they're doing what women do, if they saw their son or some boy standing there, hey, get your behind away from here. Don't be watching me put on no makeup. Don't be watching me do this. Don't be watching me do that. Go find something a little boy supposed to do. Go outside and play. Go throw a football. Go get a basketball or something. Go run around. Find something to do. You know, get where your daddy at? Where your grandpa at? Well, whoever, right? Get around some men. And then the women in that time period.
And I would say a reason for that, which we probably don't like to admit, is the fact that a lot of our mothers and grandmothers were pretty masculine, right? And I love my mama, and I only heard stories about my grandma. But I know one thing, my mom was a very rough and tough masculine woman. And I heard it through the grapevine. Her mother was that. So that's the reason why that was way more tougher. Now, and of course, they probably felt like, yes, they had to be the mother and father, but I don't think they vocalized it. I think they internalized it more and just was like, hey, we got to do what we got to do. Because particularly, remember, we got to talk about, we're talking about a different era, right? Particularly if you grew up in the South, we're talking about Jim Crow South, right? Like, I mean, you just had to be rough and tough, right? As a man or a woman. So I get what he's talking about, but I mean, we got to call a spade, right?
Was insistent on having their son around some sort of man. And if they didn't have a man around, they say, well, let me put them in football. Because, hey, they're going to be around some men that coach, and there can be some good male influences, you know, on the football field, or maybe the basketball or track, or, you know, something, right? The women always wanted to make sure that their sons were around men, or maybe find them, like say, if they got a family member that's a uncle or a cousin, say, hey, can he hang with y'all? Can you take him somewhere with y'all? Like, because he don't have his dad around, but could you take him or whatever? Because he just needs he need to be around a man. I can't give him that. And that's the problem you have today. The women who are in those situations don't actively seek out, you know, their sons to be around other men. That's what it is. And they're twerking in front of their sons. They're putting makeup on in front of their sons. They got their sons in the videos doing the same things they're doing, right? And they're teaching their son to be a girl. And then later, I mean, shoot, if he's been so socialized to be a girl, he be thinking, hey, being a girl is a normal thing, because what male influence has he had? So then a lot of you ladies out here say, what is up with the dudes? Listen, I talked to my daughter the other day. She was talking about the dating scene. And you know what she told me? She said, look, I'll be honest with you. Most of these dudes out here, he said, be honest with you. And I'm not just talking about people. Say a lot of them are gay. I said, why you say that? He said, they not manly, a lot of them. They say they more sassy than I am. You know, you really find out how they get down, and some of them actually like.
And I know that term sassy get thrown around a lot, but I mean, I think it is a lot of truth to, you know, what he's saying his daughter was saying. Like, but that's what happened when we a lot of time compare men of yesteryear to men of today, because men back then just grew up differently, right? They had to help somebody change oil or change a tire. They had to actually, which he was kind of making that point where like they was raised around more men, and it was intentional. So, hey, go do this. Like, you know, but nowadays boys are around women so much that the women are calling the boys, and I mean, it just looks different. So yeah, that's a great point that he's making.
Dudes like that or whatever. I'm like, is it that bad? He's like, yes, it's that bad. And that's not the only time I've heard that, though. Because, you know, in certain people, I'll point out and say, what do you think about this guy here? And she's like, and she would catch it right then and there. I'm like, man, and I would see that like, what's up with these dudes today? Back when we was, at least when I was younger, you wanna go hit the weights. You want to hit the weights. You want to hit the heavy bag. You want to do something like, hey, you want to have that appearance of being a man. Now these dudes today, they so freaking skinny. Like, when did that happen? A bunch of dudes run around here skinny. Dudes that want to be skinny. Dudes want to lift weights. Dudes want to do something to put some muscle on them. Even if you was a slender dude, you still want to put some muscle on you. You know what I'm saying? These dudes today, they don't want to fight. I'm telling you, they want to shoot everything. It's yeah, it's bad. So lack of fathers is the problem.
I think everybody understands that. I mean, yes, it's different nowadays, right? Some of us don't want to admit it, but yes, it's different. And the toll that single motherhood has really taken on our young boys is just tremendous. And of course, it's detrimental on young girls too. But when you have young boys who are responsible for being the head of a household one day, and you see them coming out in skinny jeans and with the dyed hair like you see in the video, I mean, it is kind of alarming, I must say. Now, and we're not even talking about homosexual men, right? That's a separate category, right? Everybody has their different opinions when it comes to homosexuality. So we're going to leave that out here for a moment. We're talking about what's supposed to be straight heterosexual men, right? And how they act. We see even celebrities painting their nails, right? I mean, it's just different. And we know a lot of this is due to a lack of testosterone. We know that comes from the different chemicals, the different food that people digest, and the images and propaganda that's pushed forward. So it's a whole host of factors, right? But at the end of the day, it's still creating a epidemic where women are complaining. And now let's just be fair. Women have been complaining about men, right? So that's nothing new. But I don't think we've seen to this extent where women were once complaining about, okay, deadbeat dads or men not stepping up to the plate and paying child support and things of that nature. Now women are complaining about he's too soft. Like he is not masculine enough. He's not this, and it's all tied to, and then just like we can look at the stats when it comes to men in prison, well, when it comes to failed relationships and women complaining about men like this, we can also look at the stats say, I guarantee you came from a single parent household. Don't blame the messages. I'm just saying. And I don't know if there's any studies in this, but I guarantee you those women who are complaining about a lot of these men out here being soft are coming from single parent households. Not saying all, but I feel like a lot of them are. So now, how do we combat this? Well, we got to start focusing on family. We got to start focusing on marriage. You ladies, you have to start keeping your legs closed. You have to start bringing men around other men to vet the men that you possibly want to build a family with. Because if we keep trending and going in the direction that we're going, I mean, we can already look at the marriage rates. We can already look at declining birth rates. Even though it seems like a lot of people are having babies, we can see the increase of single parenthood. We can see the increase of women that's delaying marriage and having babies. All this leads to a society that is not focused on family, that's not focused on culture, that's very individualistic in nature, which the United States has been for a very long time. All right. All right. So we're going to end episode 99. Our single mothers destroying their sons, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all rocking with me as always, of course. Please make sure you subscribe, man. Hit that like button, man. It's free. It don't cost you nothing. Okay, hit that bell so you know when new videos drop. The next time you see me, hey, we will be celebrating episode 100, man. I got something special for you. All right. Hey, as always, I'm you, you are me. Love always, love eternal. Remember, the worst thing you do is lie to yourself. Hey, we out. Deuces. One love.